Given the fact that I'm talking about lucid dreaming online means that I'm actually purporting to know something about it. Although I always try to be as reasonable as I possibly can with this topic because I feel that it's actually a very complex subject and there are a lot of people talking about it who I don't actually feel are doing it justice and giving it the treating it with the amount of nuance that it's actually due. And I basically just wanted to take the time today to kind of explain who the hell I even think I am making statements like that and even talking about lucid dreaming in general when I don't have any credentials in the field or related fields of sleep or dreams or anything like that. Now, there are a lot of people talking about lucid dreaming online. Most of those people don't have credentials, but some of them do. It's important to note that there are actually kind of two sides to lucid dreaming in the way that I view it. And that is the experiential side, and that is actually having experience with being in lucid dreams, achieving lucid dreams, that sort of thing. And then there is the scientific side, which has to do with empiricism and scientific inquiry and study. And I would say that both of these sides to lucid dreaming are actually underdeveloped, but I think the experiential side is kind of further along there. It actually reminds me a lot of where meditation was a few years ago before all of the science started coming in on that. We just had a bunch of people who were talking about the positive benefits of meditation without any of the science to back that up. And I feel that's kind of where we are with lucid dreaming right now. And so it's important to keep that in mind. So really, the most things that we know about lucid dreaming right now are entirely subjective experiential things, anecdotal things. And as far as cold hard facts, the most substantial thing we know about lucid dreaming is that we can actually do it, right? That it's a real thing. So that's the most groundbreaking thing we know empirically on lucid dreaming. And there are studies being done, the science of lucid dreaming is slowly unfolding, but really nothing is being done right now that's any surprise at all to the people who've been lucid dreaming for a very long time. But the thing that I think we're really talking about here, obviously, is lucid dreaming expertise and what makes someone an expert or what makes someone at least qualified enough to talk on a subject. So ideally, we would say that the perfect lucid dreaming expert would be someone who is not only a long-term lucid dreamer, knows how to lucid dream, has had many, many lucid dreams and can do dream control and that sort of thing. Basically get whatever experience they want out of it, as well as someone who, on the other side, also has some sort of certification for this. We want, dream and sleep scientists, neuroscientists, psychologists, anyone with a firm understanding of the experiential side of lucid dreaming, as well as the scientific side of lucid dreaming, small as it might be at this moment. And there are some people who actually do fit that bill, but if you really analyze their work and the way they talk about the topic, you'll notice that the people with the credentials who are talking on the topic are actually no more reliable in their advice in lucid dreaming and have nothing really any more compelling or useful to say about lucid dreaming than a person who has just been a lucid dreamer for a really long time and talks about it. There are a lot of people who don't have any sort of certification online talking about this topic, and it's really honestly amazed me how unprofessional the lucid dreaming quote unquote experts and professionals are. Some people in the IASD, the International Association for the Study of Dreams, who have written some pretty popular books and who also have degrees, have written some pretty hyperbolic books that are more parapsychology, metaphysical, new age woo than something actually useful. So that really can't be the only metric that we that we judge people by. So the experiential side and the scientific side are both very important, and we need both of those aspects in someone that we call an expert, I think. But I also feel that the experiential side is obviously a 50% of that equation, and there's still a lot of good that us lucid dreamers can do talking about the subject, as long as we keep in mind our limitations, right? So what I'm trying to do, in the place that I feel that I'm trying to hold, is I'm really trying to stay humble about what I do and I don't know talking about this topic, um, while also trying to clearly and reasonably communicate the benefits that I feel lucid dreaming actually has and has had on my life, and I think has just as an experience, and how I think it can be applied to modern science. So, although I'm not an expert, I am someone who thinks deeply about this topic, and really, the only thing I can do as a layman is approach it honestly from that perspective, know what I have to offer, which is purely experiential, and then try to seek out others with the same and with opposite experiences, and try to make connections and have conversations with those people, right? So ideally what we want is the people who are lucid dreamers and have been for a long time. We want those people to also get in touch with the people who are doing the lucid dream science, if the people doing the lucid dream science aren't lucid dreamers themselves. And that's really the place that I want to fill in this topic at this particular time, because there's really not much else to do or talk about until we get a little bit more of a scientific basis to this conversation. There's more we can do, I believe, and my book is, I think, the closest approximation that someone such as I can come up with to fill the void of what else to talk about and what else to move towards in the conversation of lucid dreaming, at least without that additional scientific basis of knowledge that we desperately, desperately need. So, yeah, what I'd like to do is talk to these people, talk to people in the relevant fields who are doing the science, and maybe touch on some interest in lucid dreaming. I want to talk to those people. I want to talk to fellow lucid dreamers, and I want to see if we can dig anything up out of this topic, if we can bring anything interesting and useful forth that we can actually learn from about the topic as a whole. I really think that there's something special here and yet to be explored in the conversation between long-term lucid dreamers, as well as in a dialogue between long-term lucid dreamers and a working relationship, hopefully with lucid dreamers and those doing sleep and dream and lucid dream science. So I know it's a large goal for a person to have, but I think it's a noble one, that I just want to do whatever small part I can to get the wheels rolling, or the ball rolling, I should say, in the right direction if possible. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. I want to try to, going forward, I want to try to spark the conversation more, and I want to try to develop the conversation with other people with the relevant expertise and knowledge, and see if we can move the field of lucid dreaming forward as a grassroots movement. It's hopeless, but hey, this is what I'm passionate about. And yeah, I appreciate anyone and everyone who is along with me for that ride. And if you've made it this far, I greatly appreciate you, because that obviously includes you. So I think that just about does it. Thanks for listening to me ramble here a little bit, but I think it's a very important topic that we address openly and honestly if we're going to talk about this topic and actually take the information of people seriously who are purporting to know something about this topic. We need to be really careful in how we talk about it and honest. And I think some changes need to occur in the lucid dreaming community before that becomes possible. So let's be the change that we want to see in the world. And if you want to forefront this change, I haven't done much on this yet, but I will be trying to do more going forward as things cool down in the future on the book release. But if you want to be at the forefront of this conversation, please join Oneironauts for Reason, and you can visit that page at beyondluciddreaming.com. If you scroll to the bottom of the page, you'll see a link for Oneironauts for Reason, and you can click that and join and see what we're about. Thanks for listening.